Hi, I'm Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes, and today I'm going to be cooking up some fried chicken wings in the Chefman Air Touch air fryer oven, and we'll see how it performs cooking up some fried chicken wings from scratch right now. Alright, so let me go over the ingredients here with you. I've got 6 fresh chicken wings, whole chicken wings, and I've got 2 large eggs. I've got 1 ounce of water. That'll be my egg wash for my breading. I'll be using 1 cup of yellow cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Got a tablespoon of freshly cracked black pepper here, 1 ounce of Old Bay seasoning, and I'll be using some extra light olive oil in a bottle that I use that has a sprayer feature to spray to wet up the breading a little bit so that it air fries easier, because this is the breading I like to use. There are other options if you want to use those, but I'm going to first, to make my egg wash, I'm going to mix up my egg wash here, and then I'll mix up my dry ingredients. And now I've got my egg wash and my breading together. I forgot to mention I've got a little chicken seasoning here that I want to try and exhaust, so I'm just going to, whoa, came out a bit heavier than I expected there, but I just want to basically get this all over the chicken just to kind of give it a nice underbite. You don't have to. I didn't intend to season mine over on that side as much as it came out there, but it's kind of like the last of the container here, so it's just going to exhaust it getting these covered up. Alright, so now that I've got them all seasoned up, kind of over seasoned a little bit, but that's okay, going to get the chicken into the egg wash and using the wet hand, dry hand technique. Got my wet hand and my dry hand here, so going to get it all breaded up. And so basically, you want to make sure when you bread the chicken that you get the breading all in all the nooks and crannies of the wings, so that they're well covered up. So making sure that I get it all nicely done. And if you're a hot grease fryer, you could use these in hot grease. Just don't spray on any oil afterwards like I'm going to do here, and throw them in your hot grease if that's your thing. But I'm going to go ahead and basically finish up the other 5 wings. Alright, so I got them all breaded and egg washed and breaded. And now I'm basically, for this spray bottle, this type you have to kind of pump up to spray, because this isn't like an aerosol can, but this is a refillable can, so you can reuse your oil, or reuse a large thing of oil in here. And alright, so I'm just about finished, but if you get one of these, it helps if you do kind of like the longer, letting it up and pressing it down, than trying to do like a short, quick, type of motion to try and get the pressure in. You can get a lot more pressure if, you let it come all the way up and press down. So now when I do that, and of course spray, then it's like a lot more like your aerosol can type action. So they're basically done with that there. So got them all sprayed up now. Alright, now it's time to get things into the cooker. And so I'm going to just use the air fry basket with the rack. I'm not going to have the pan underneath. And reason being, I don't think there's going to be a lot of drippings, and even if there are, it's going to be kind of a hassle if I try and have a bake pan underneath. You see, I'm using the low rack level, and the reason is if I have things up on the higher rack level, those tips would kind of get closer to the heating elements there. And of course I could cut the tips off. I choose to keep my tips on. I like to keep the tips on. And some people do, some people don't. But we're going to go with air fry, and cooking time 400 degrees Fahrenheit. No. Cooking time is 20 minutes. Sorry. Cooking temperature is 400 degrees Fahrenheit. But I think some of you, if you've been around this channel a long time, you might remember when I used the Cuisinart digital air fry toaster oven to air fry some wings and had them on the higher rack, and it caused some smoke issues and such because they were kind of getting too close to the heating elements. So using the low rack level and nothing underneath, I'm not going to try spinning, well, to flip anything over or anything like that. I'm not doing anything but letting them run, so I'm going to hit start and let that go, and I'll bring you on back, Lord willing, in 20 minutes. Alright, we're coming into the final seconds now of 20 minutes, and you know this cooker has no preheat, so this is 20 minutes without a preheat, and we'll see how it performed. So open things up here. There were no smoke issues at all. There were no smoke issues. Let's see if I can get one out. Oh, a lot of fluid coming off now that I got one out. Man. But you can see underneath, I guess some of the fluid settled underneath, so it's a little moist under there. But I got a Thermapen here. I'm just going to, for the sake of checking, we see the temperature is up in the it's almost 165. Well, yeah, it's 180s up in there. So I think yeah, it's in the 180s there. Maybe I just wasn't sticking it in deep enough. Yeah, it's in 170s there. Yeah, so it's real hot. They're real hot. They're well done. But I guess they're, you know, kind of holding some fluid in there, retaining some fluid. You see the underside there. Yeah, it looks like, you know, because I didn't flip them, the fluid did kind of, you know, come down on them, you know, under the bottom. But all the same, they look, you know, pretty decent. So you can flip them halfway if you want, but then I think you do, you know, you probably do risk some smoke issues then, because you're going to have a lot of fluid coming off of there. I'm just going to set that one there, and I'm going to get the air fryer rack out the way. I do want to show you on the drip pan, there was some dripping. Some of this may have been from, you know, getting them out, but there was a good bit of dripping. So you see that there. But I'll let this, you know, cool for a moment, then we'll do a taste test, and I'll give you some other thoughts and impressions about this cook. Alright, so here's our air fried chicken wing, and Lord willing it's had some time to cool off, but thank the Lord for it, and we'll do a taste and try and bite into it. Just want you to see that it's you know, cooked all the way through, and it turned out nicely. I mean, 20 minutes, pretty quick. I will say that I'm glad there were no smoke issues, but the fact that I couldn't use a pan underneath, on one hand, it probably helped things cook up really quick. On the other hand, you're kind of leery. You're kind of like, you know, we're going to have smoke. We're going to have smoke. But thank God there was no smoke. I think, you know, with something like this, with the tips that stick up, you know, you do have to put it on a lower rack, because if you put it up higher, it's going to be too close to those heating elements. And so, you know, it worked out just fine doing it the way that it was done. I think with other things, you probably could put them up on the higher rack and be okay. You know, you probably would want to be careful if it's something that's going to have too much drippings that, you know, it may cause, then you may have a smoke issue, but we did not in this case. So everything, you know, all's well, ends well. And you can find in the video description ways to help this channel, including the cookbook and other things. And also, you can find the link to my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. And you can also find a link to a printable version of this recipe in the video description too. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.